Welcome back to the Fireside Chat Part 2. I just realized something a few minutes ago. I realized that this week marks 1 year and a half of being sober from alcohol and weed. Now, time just kind of flies by when you get older. I think most people understand that. And it's really weird to stop and think about just that time frame, a year and a half. So that's like 1 year without any alcohol or weed whatsoever. I've been to a bar a couple times and just had non-alcoholic drinks. It's not the same. It's like going to a church and being a fucking atheist. It doesn't make sense. Or going to a fucking opium den and drinking Sprite. It's just not my thing. So I was reminded of something that Jordan Peterson said once about sometimes people need their deadwood burned off, and people don't like to have their deadwood burnt off because maybe they're 95% deadwood, and it's a really brutal journey to take when you try to sort of find the core of your soul and who you are. And as we get older and our all the experiences we've had, you just acquire a lot of negativity and darkness. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. And you're not even conscious of it. That's what Carl Jung referred to as a shadow, I believe. So anyways, this whole journey of trying to rediscover myself and rid myself of impulses and trying to understand what exactly is the root cause of impulsiveness. I'm still working on that. I think actually it's a lack of meaning and purpose and hope. Those three things. So if you don't have those three things, I think a person's very tempted to live a very self-destructive lifestyle. And that's what I did, And when I say, when I talk about weed, it's just, I'm not against it. It's just not something that I really need anymore. And I'll tell you why exactly. So as a lot of you know, I'm obsessed with extreme, extreme physical activity and weird ways of doing it, push-ups without breathing, kettlebells upside down, running hills in the snow and the freezing cold. There's reasons why I do this stuff, because I'm interested in finding out what my mental state's like afterwards. And after doing this stuff for, I guess over a year now, like the hiking with Brando stuff, I realized that the endorphins and the serotonin and just the serotonin rush, it lasts way longer. It feels way better. My mind, body, and soul feels connected, where it seems like if you take the easy way out with a substance, to each his own, whether you want to do it or not. I don't judge anybody. I'm just going through my experiences. I'm sharing them with you. But doing all these things, that made me realize something finally, that there's three different types of health. There's physical health, mental health, which in my case is a work in progress, and spiritual health. And this is a really tricky, abstract notion, spiritual health, because anytime you say the word spiritual, somebody's going to shake their head, roll their eyes, and say, go fuck yourself. And I am kind of like that myself. Though I don't consider myself a religious person, I definitely feel that there's a spiritual health. And it's you could basically say, it's just something that we don't understand, For me, it's trying to get to the core of who I am and what a person is. We don't even know what that is. We don't know what our real potential is, for goodness. But I do know one thing, that if you're sort of a negative person, a dark person, that spreads like a plague. And I've seen that in my own life, how I used to live. And it's really weird, since I've dedicated myself to try to be more loving and compassionate towards, people, that you can see we're like nodes in a network. You try to spread love in this world. There's nothing that's more important to me, I'll give you an example. So I just told you that I'm not religious, and I'm not. Do I believe in a God? Believe God? I don't even know what that means, but I can tell you something. I have a prayer that I say every single day, and it sort of helps me set my day in motion, and it gives me meaning So I say these words, I have them all memorized, and it's just basically about what can I do to reduce the suffering in this world, because it kills me to see people hurting and depressed and sad and lonely and, detached, because I know what all that shit feels like. It doesn't feel good. So, but anyways, if you dedicate yourself to a sort of a spiritual health, like I'm talking about, I think you'll discover, who you are, what are you doing with your time and your energy. Are you making this world better, or are you making it worse? Are you making your family and friends' life worse or better? Because we all are doing something, and it's just, so I just thought I'd put all that out there, I really want people to discover that you don't need to hide in, addiction or impulses, because impulses just leave you empty in the end. It's like, oh, you got drunk last night. What do you do today? And in our stupid society, the way it is, it's structured. It's like you work 5 days, you get trashed one day, and then Sunday you just you try to recover, and you repeat that apparently until you retire, or you just have kids and they do the same thing. It's just a dumb cycle. So I've just dedicated my life to breaking free at all costs from all those cycles, and just trying to figure out what works and what I can do to be sane in this world, So I'll just close with that. Catch you next time.